Hello everyone, myself Dr. Narendra, Associate Professor IT Department, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. So today we are here to discuss about the data analytics, Unit 1 introduction part. So these are the points that may be covered in the Unit 1. First we will discuss about the data, that what is the data and what is the need of the data and what we can do with the data. Then we will discuss about the sources and nature of the data, then classification of data, then characteristics of the data. Then later on we will discuss about the big data platform, and then we will see what is the need of the data analytics in current scenario, what is the evolution of the analytics scalability, and what are the analytic process and tools, and we will discuss what is the difference between the analysis versus reporting. Then after that, we will see what are the modern data analytics tools are available. And then we will see the applications of data analytics. And in the last, we will discuss about the data analytics life cycle. So all the points will not be covered in the one lecture. So all the points will not be covered in one lecture, but we will try to cover some in one lecture and the rest in another lecture. So first we will see what is the meaning of the data. So everyone you see, that is the data. If you see a building, there is a lot of data in that building, maybe color, maybe the structure of the building. If you see the hoardings on the road, then you can find a lot of data. So whatever you see, that is data. But officially we can define data as a set of values of quantitative or qualitative variables about one or more person or objects. So as I mentioned that whatever object you see, you may find some data. Data may be relevant and data may not be relevant, but definitely data is there everywhere. So data can be defined as unit of any form of information that has been gathered and organized in a meaningful format. So it explains that data may be meaningful and data may not be meaningful. So meaningful data is called information, and otherwise other data is the raw data, and that cannot be used as information, and we cannot conclude anything from that data. So data could be in the form of audio files, text files, software programs, images, videos, CSV files. So there are lots of formats, and raw data is also there in binary format that could be collected using sensors and other resources. So this is all about data. Now basically now we will see that if we want to understand the big data, then we should know about the data and what is the difference between the big data. So about data, we have already discussed that it is qualitative or quantitative data. It may have characters, it may have symbols, it may have video, images, and that data can be recorded on magnetic or optical disk, and it can be transferred through electrical signals. So this is all about the data. Now what is big data? So big data is also a data, but it is huge in volume. So the size of the big data is very huge. So big data is a term that is used to describe a collection of data that is huge in volume and yet growing exponentially. So big data is growing exponentially. You may consider some examples, like there are a lot of sensors deployed all over the world, and they are generating the data. Millions, billions of terabyte data is generating, and that could be considered as a big data. So now we will see the examples of big data, then types of the big data, then characteristics of the big data, and advantages of the big data processing. So here we see the examples. The first example is the New York Stock Exchange example. It generates about 1 terabyte of new trade data per day. So you can think that even a single New York Stock Exchange is generating 1 terabyte, and there are so many exchanges spread worldwide, and you can imagine that how much volume is being generated through the stock exchanges worldwide. Next is the social media data. Now everyone is using Facebook and Google as a social media platforms. So this is the example that only Facebook is generating 500 plus terabytes of data every day. And if you talk about the Twitter, or if you talk about the Yahoo and Google and MSN and other search engines and other social media platforms like YouTube, and so you cannot imagine that how much data is being generated every day. So this is the example of big data. This is the another example of big data. Like a single jet engine can generate 10 plus terabytes of data in 30 minutes of flight time. And now you can consider so many flights are, you can think so many flights are flying every day from different airports, and this data is also very huge. So these are the examples of big data. Now we will see that types of big data. So how the data can be characterized. So big data could be found in three formats. Like first one is the structured data, second one is the unstructured data, and third one is the semi-structured data. So now we will see little bit in depth that what is the meaning of these three types of the data. So first we will cover what is the meaning of the structured data. So structured data is the data that could be stored, accessed, and processed in the form of fixed format. So there is a fixed format in the form of table or in the form of ER diagrams. So you can see that structured data is the very well formatted data that could be used to answer the many queries over the period of time. So there are different database management systems that operate or work on the structured data. Like you can consider the SQL, MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server. So these are the different database management systems that work very well, that operate very well on the structured data. So here is a fact that you should know, that 10 to the power 21 bytes is equal to the 1 zettabyte, and 1 billion terabytes forms a zettabyte. So you can imagine that how much the data is big. Zettabyte is equal to the millions or 1 billion of terabytes. So looking at these figures, one can easily understand why the name big data is given, and imagine the challenges involved in its storage and processing, because you cannot process the big data using the traditional database management systems. So whatever data is stored in the relational database management system, it could be easily accessed and it could be easily analyzed using the traditional database management softwares, but big data cannot be analyzed using the traditional DBMS systems. So this is, here we go, this is the example of structured data, and as I told you earlier that structured data is very well formatted. So here you can see that data is divided into the rows and columns. So these are the rows and these are the columns, and you can see there is a specific or unique name for each column, like employee ID, employee name, gender, department, and salary in lakhs. And you can see that there is the data type is also different in different columns. Here employee ID is the numerical, employee name is the string or characters, gender is also the string, department is also stored as a string, and salary is again numerical. So this data is the example of structured data, and it is very well formatted. So now we move to the next slide and we see what is the meaning of the unstructured data. So the data that is not in proper specific format is called or classified as unstructured data. Again, it is huge in size. Suppose you are firing a query in search engine, like in this example, in this scenario, you can see that user has fired a query, Hadoop Big Data, and user is getting the different type of the data. Here are some images. You can see some images are there. Here are some links. Here is some text. So when you fire any query in search engine, that you get the different mixed type of the data that is not structured like earlier example, and it is very difficult to analyze this type of the data. And this is the heterogeneous data, means you may get the audio files, you may get the video files, you may get the images, or you may get the text. So it is a mixed data. There is no structure in this data. And so this is the example of unstructured data. Now we will see what is the meaning of semi-structured data. So semi-structured data lie between the structured data and unstructured data. It can contain both the form of data. You can see here it is mentioned both the form of data, means some structured and some unstructured. So that's why it is called semi-structured data. And you would have seen many examples of the XML file or JSON objects. And if you see the syntax, then you can see these data is somehow structured and unstructured. So here you can see this is the example of an XML file, and here record name, then name is the Prashant, then name, then sex is the male, and then age is 35. So you see here that you can see some structure also, but you cannot find the complete structure like in the tabular format. So this is the mixed type of the data and is called semi-structured data. So this was the about three type of the data: structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. So this is the conclusion about the data type, that structured data has a structure and is well organized either in the form of tables or in some other way, and it can be easily accessed, analyzed to answer the queries, and it is widely used in big organizations, even in small organizations also. Then unstructured data, the data that is not organized. As we saw the example, it may have the text, it may have the audio files, PDF, Word document, any type of the data it may have, and it is very difficult to analyze to get the valuable information from this unstructured data. And semi-structure it is somehow between the structured and semi-structured. It has some structure but not the completely structure. It doesn't have the complete structure like XML file and JSON object file. These are the examples of semi-structured data, and these are also very useful as per the requirement. So these are the properties and structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. And properties are based on some parameters, like if we talk about the technology, then structured data is based on the relational database table. Then semi-structure is based on the XML, and unstructured is based on the characters and binary data, because it has a raw data, it may have data in any form or format. If we talk about the transaction management, then structured data is matured, and it has the concurrency technique also, like we have if you know about the relational database, then you would understand what is the concurrency techniques. And semi-structured data, it is matured, but there is no concurrency techniques in semi-structured data. And in unstructured data, there is no transaction management or at all, or concurrency. So next is the version management. So structured data versioning is over tuples, row, and tables. But in semi-structured data, versioning over tuples or graph. There are no row and tables. And unstructured data versioning is as a whole. And if we talk about the flexibility, then structured data is the schema dependent. There is a fixed schema, like the number of rows, number of columns, and then type of columns, that what type of the data could be stored in the column. But if we talk about the semi-structured data, it is more flexible. The structured data is having very good structure but less flexible. But semi-structured data doesn't have the structure like structured data, but it is more flexible than the structured data, but it is less flexible than the unstructured data. And unstructured data is very flexible because it doesn't have any structure, so it is flexible. You can do whatever you want to do with this. But with the structured data, you have some fixed methodologies that you can access and operate on the data. So if we talk about the scalability, so it is very difficult to scale the structured data, because once the schema is defined and you have written a code over it, and you have developed an application, or you have developed a software using that schema, and later on if you want to change in a schema, then it is very difficult and you have to change in your whole code also. So it is not scalable. If we talk about the semi-structured data, its scaling is simpler than the structured data, but it is less scalable in comparison of the unstructured data. And ultimately, unstructured data is very scalable because there is no fixed format in unstructured data. So these are the properties. If you talk about the robustness, then structured data is very robust. Semi-structured is not so robust, and unstructured data is not at all robust because it is a mixture of the raw data and different type of the data, so we cannot say that it is robust. Query performance. So the structured data query allow complex joining because it is in the format, and you can join the different tables, and you can create complex views. So complex joining is allowed in the structured data because everything is in the structural format. And if we talk about the semi-structured data, then query over anonymous nodes are only possible. And if we talk about the unstructured data, then only textual query can be done because there is no specific technologies or tools to work over the unstructured data like we can do over structured data. So this is the example that how you could see that how the data is growing every year over the years. So you can see here the data generation or growth was started in 2010 almost, as the internet was growing very fast. Now you can see we are here at some point. So we are here, and it is the estimation by 2030 the data will be around 78 yottabytes. So you can see that it took almost 10 years to reach here, but in the next 10 years this data will grow exponentially. So this is the how you can see that how the big data is growing day by day exponentially. So this was the data growth over the years. Now we will see the characteristics of the big data. So now we will see that okay, this was the general discussion, but how can we say that particular data is the big data or particular data is not the big data? So there are some characteristics of big data. If any data is having those characteristics, then we may consider that data as a big data. So big data is defined through 5 V. There are different V's that could define the characteristics of the big data, and if any data is having those 5 V, then we can say okay, this is the big data, and it has the challenges that could be, it has the challenges of big data, and it could be solved differently, and it cannot be solved using the traditional database management system. So first V is the volume. So volume is the first V out of 5 V's of the big data. So volume, as the name represent, volume is the amount of the data which is beyond our immediate grasp. So this data is so big that you cannot store the data in one hard disk or in one system or even 10 systems, and it cannot be stored like a traditional relational database management system. So currently this data is in the range of exabytes, that means 2 to the power 18 bytes. So next V that defines the characteristics of the big data is the velocity. So velocity is the speed at which the data is getting processed. So velocity is not the speed at which the data is getting generated. It is the speed at which the data is getting processed. So if you can process the huge data within a short time, then you can respond the queries in small time. So if the speed is high, what is the meaning of the speed? The speed of the data processing. So if the speed of the data processing is high, it will lead to a low response time to the queries and low time for input and output, and the performance of the system will be better. Because in big data is so huge that it is very challenging task to get the response within the specified time. So these are the 2 V's or 2 characteristics of the big data. Now next V is the variety. So variety means if the data is not of one type only, it has the mixed data like we already discussed. It may have the structured data, it may have the unstructured data, and it may have the semi-structured data. Then we will say that this data has a variety and it could be considered for the big data. So this is the third V. So traditionally we are used to access and manipulate structured data through relational database system. Here you can see structured data could be accessed or analyzed through relational database system. But with the advent of new technologies, we have got a huge amount of data generated which is unstructured or semi-structured. As I told you, there are so many sensors generating huge data every day, maybe the temperature sensor, maybe the humidity sensor, fire sensor, smoke sensor. There are so many traffic light cameras, there are so many satellites generating the data and sending to the earth for analyzing. So we have a huge amount of data that is not structured. So we need to develop the new techniques that can analyze this type of the data in comparison of the traditional database management system. So this is the next V of the 5 V. That is a veracity. Veracity basically deals with the uncertainties in the data. So initially, as I told, that if the data is relevant or data is correct, then there will be less uncertainties in the data. But if the data is not correct, is having noise or different errors, then there will be the different uncertainties, and that data cannot be used directly for processing. So first you need to remove the uncertainties, errors or noise from the data. So veracity covers those uncertainties in the data. So if data is not accurate, then we can say there are uncertainties in the data, and good data should have the low veracity or low uncertainty. So this is the 4th V, and if we are dealing with the veracity, then it is a very challenging task. As you can see, the best data cleaning methods to eliminate some inherent unpredictability of data, even they are not capable to eliminate all the uncertainties, the best cleaning methods. So this was about the veracity. Now the last V is the value. So value deals with the value generated with the application of knowledge derived in a particular use case. So whatever data you have, if you cannot generate the value from that data, that data will not be useful. So after doing all these things, all processing, you should get some value from the data that could be used to take the decisions, that could be used to answer the queries. So the value is directly proportional to the quality of knowledge derived from the data. So this was all this was about big data. So we can conclude this lecture at this point, and rest of the point we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you very much.